Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Meghdajan, if you're not too tired and if you don't mind reading it.
Bismillah ar-Rahman. Eid آمد و Eid آمد وان بخت سعید آمد برگیر و دهل میزن کان ماه پدید آمد عید آمده ای مجنون غلغل شنو از گردون کان معتمد سدره از عرش مجید آمد عید آمد و رهجویان رقصان و غزلگویان کان قیصر مهرویان زان قصر مشید آمد صد معدن دانایی مجنون شد و سودایی کان خوبی و زیبایی بی مثل و ندید آمد زان قدرت پیوستش داوود نبی مستش تا موم کند دستش گر سنگ و حدید آمد عید آمد و ما بی او عیدیم بیا تا ما بر عید زنیم این دم کان خوان و ثرید آمد زو زهر شکر گردد زو ابر قمر گردد زو تازه و تر گردد هر جا که قدید آمد برخیز و به میدان رو در حلقه رندان رو جانب مهمان رو کز راه بعید آمد غمهاش همه شادی بندش همه آزادی یک دانه بدو دادی صد باب مزید آمد من بنده آن شرقم در نعمت آن غرقم جز نعمت پاک او منحوس و پلید آمد بربند لب و تن زن چون غنچه و چون سوسن رو صبر کن از گفتن چون صبر کلید آمد.
Eyvallah. Thank you, Meghdajan. And yeah, if you don't mind, read the translation as well.
Eid has arrived. Eid has arrived. That blessed fortune has arrived. Take up the drum and strike it, for the moon has been sighted. Eid has arrived, O Majnun. Listen to the song of the heavens, for the envoy of the lotus tree has descended from the glorious throne. Eid has arrived, and seekers of the path are chanting and dancing, for that king of beauty has emerged from his lofty palace. 100 minds of wisdom lost their senses and gave in to love, for that beauty, that fairness, arrived in his unmatched grace. By his unceasing power, Prophet David became enraptured, such that even stone and steel were soft as wax in his hands. Eid has arrived, but even without Eid, we ourselves are Eid. Come, let us celebrate Eid now, for that table from the heavens is before us. By him, poison turns sweet as sugar, clouds become moons, and all that has become stale by him becomes fresh again. Arise, go out to the gathering place, enter the circle of the free-hearted, go welcome your guest who has come from far away. The sorrows he sends are all joy. His chains are but freedom. Give him a single seed and receive hundreds of gardens in return. I am a servant of that East, immersed in his bounties. Anything but his pure bounties is just ominous and evil. Seal your lips, be silent, like the rosebud and the lily. Remain patiently quiet, for patience is the key.
Okay, so let's inshallah talk about it. First verse is Eid Ahmad Eid Ahmad, one Bakht Sa'id Ahmad. So Mawlana is announcing Eid has arrived, and there's that joy. So that's why Mawlana repeats Eid Ahmad Eid Ahmad. The Eid has come, the Eid has come. One Bakht Sa'id Ahmad, and that blessed fortune has arrived. So the Eid is not just a holiday, it's not just a date in the calendar. It's about that fortune of seeing the beloved. So take up the drum and strike it, celebrate this day because the moon has been sighted. And the moon here is, the crescent of Shawwal, but it's also the beloved. And that's why, the Sufis, this famous hadith that the Prophet ﷺ, he says, Sumu li ru'yatihi waftaru li ru'yatihi. So you should start your fast when you see it or him, and you should break your fast or you should end your fast when you see. And most people take it to mean the moon, the crescent. But the Sufis say this, the ru'yatihi, The pronoun refers to Allah ultimately. So the true Eid is when you see the beloved. The true Eid is when that moon shines inside you, in your heart. That's the true Eid. And the Ahlullah, the lovers of Allah, their fasting is for Allah. Their fasting is for meeting Allah, and their iftar, their fitr, their Eid is also when they meet Allah. Eid Ahmad ay Majnun. So Majnun, those who are madly in love, those who are enraptured. So all you who are lovers of Allah, all you who are madly in love, Eid Ahmad, the Eid has arrived. And this Eid, everyone shares in that joy. It's not just humans, it's the planets who are also singing. It's the heavens who are also singing. It's the angels who are also singing. And this, of course, refers to the Prophet ﷺ. He has come back. He went all the way to the glorious throne, but he came back for us, right? He came back for us to help us. And then Eid Ahmad Rahjuyan, and the seekers of the path, they're chanting and singing ghazals and poetry and dancing in joy. Why? Because again, that's who Mawlana calls the Qaisar Mahruyan, the Caesar or the emperor, the king of all those who have, in Persian, literally, those who have faces like the moon, the king of beauty. So again, could be a reference to Sayyidina Rasulullah or the beauty of Allah ultimately. So when that king shines in your heart, that's the true Eid. Yes, Miqdajan.
I just wanted to say that a lot of the actually beauty of Mawlana's literary work is missed in translation. There are lots of nice connections and lots of nice correlations between things that he portrays. So, for example, here you can see that this Qaisar and Qasr, so they have some kind of a correlation.
Sure. Yes.
And then it also talks about this Majnun, Eid Ahmad Majnun. So it's also maybe a very indirect reference to that old belief that people get crazy when they see the moon. So
sure.
So yeah, there's a lot of these beautiful details here and there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, Zahra.
It's quite strange. It just reminded me of story of Yaqub, how much he waited, and then his son became a king, and then they were reunited.
Yes.
I don't know. I was probably reading Surah Yusuf today, and that's in the back of my head. Yeah,
absolutely, indeed. Yes, Ali.
Yeah, I was thinking that there's also kind of another way of seeing the ghazal that we discussed last time and the ghazal that we're reading today, because in some way Ramadan itself is an Eid for the soul, right? It's or the soul has at least greater opportunity to rejoice and spend time in prayer and not worry about eating and drinking and all of the things that take up so much of our time. That's an opportunity for Eid for our soul, which hopefully continues, because it's easier to develop good habits during Ramadan, because everybody is doing everybody's reading the Quran after iftar, etc.
Indeed.
But after Ramadan, then it's more difficult to maintain those habits. It's more difficult to have that consistency. But I think Mawlana is talking all about quality and consistency, right? Doing improving little by little every day, just like we read in the Fiqh Mafi, that we should always seek to be in a new stable, and seek to improve.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, what he said about Eid in Ramadan, this is what Mawlana also says. He says, "Dar siyam arpanehi shadi konanne ba gushad." If you want to fast, you should fast joyfully. You should fast with happiness. Chun haram ast. So it's interesting. Like he almost gives a fatwa. Chun haram ast o nashayat hamcho qamnakan siyam. Because it's haram to fast without joy. It's haram to fast in a grumpy way. So when you fast, you should have that happiness. That's the Eid. That's also an Eid. That's also a celebration. And that goes with the hadith of the Prophet. Sumu li fast because of the roya of Allah, as the Sufis interpret it. The fasting is for when you meet the beloved. And The Eid is also when you meet the beloved. And those who are always present with the beloved, always present with Allah, every day is Eid for them. As Mawlana says, Shomara Eid dar sali dubar ast. You have only 2 Eids in a year. Do sad Eid ast dar har lahza mara. But we have 200 Eids in each moment. And yeah, Mawlana says, when that happens, when the beloved shows his countenance to you, then all the wisdom, the minds of wisdom, so those scholars, those who know a lot, they all become majnoon. They all become crazy in love. This happened to Mawlana himself. A lot of people happened to Ghazali. When that manifestation, that rapture happened to them, they realized they were ma'dan danai, they were minds of knowledge, but they left everything else. For kan khubi o zibai bi misl nadid amad, because now they're seeing a beauty that they haven't seen the like of it before. They're seeing something that doesn't have anything that's like it. There's nothing is comparable to it, and a power that's unmatched as well. So this is the power that Sayyidina Dawood, Prophet David had, as in the Quran, alanna lahul hadid, if I'm not mistaken. So the iron became soft for him in his hands. So that's the power of faith. That's the power of a lover of Allah. Nothing is hard for this. Nothing is difficult. That's what David did to iron. When Dawood became enraptured, in his hand, even stone and steel became like wax. But then Mawlana says, Eid amadu ma bi'u Eidim. Eid has come, but even without it, we are Eid. The Eid is inside us, because the moon, the beloved, is always with us. So we're always in Eid. So we're always Eid. We ourselves are Eid. So come and let us celebrate Eid, because now we have that table from heaven, as in the Quran, ma'idatan min as-sama. That's the table that comes, the provision is from Allah. It's Allah who feeds you. It's Allah who gives you to drink. يُطْعِمُنِي وَيَسْقِينِي. As the Prophet ﷺ, he says, it's God who gives me food. It's God who gives me drink. So we're at the table of Allah. So our everyday is Eid. And when He is with us, when Allah is with us, poisons turn sweet. All those trials, all those hardships, they become sweet as sugar. As Mawlana says in the Masnavi, I love His strictness, I love the harshness of Allah, but I also love the gentleness, I also love the kindness. How is it that I love these two contrary things? I like everything that comes from the beloved. As dast dost har che setani shakar بود. Anything that you take from the beloved is sweet. As dast غیر دوست تبرزد تبر بود. But if you take sweets from anyone other than the beloved, that's like an axe. Zu abr qamar gardat. And clouds become moons. Everything becomes radiant and clear. Everything becomes fresh. When you have the beloved, everything's always renewed. Everything's always new and fresh. And yeah, Mawlana says, Barkhizu be meydan ro. Go out to the gathering place to celebrate. Dar halqe Rendan ro, and enter the circle of the free-hearted. Now, rend, it's a difficult word in Persian to translate, because the original meaning is kind of like riffraff. So rend, it was a negative word, almost like bisaropa, and people who didn't have head coverings and didn't have shoes. So people who didn't really have any social status. But then it became in tasawwuf for people who didn't care about social conventions, right? They didn't care about what people think, what's proper, what's not. They're the lovers that don't care about those things. They're wild, they're the free-hearted. Their hearts are free of those restraints and conventions. So the original meaning was negative, but the Sufis use it positively for those lovers of Allah. Ro janeb mehman ro, and go and welcome this guest who's coming to your heart, who's come from far away. Go and welcome this guest in your heart. Go and embrace this guest. Why? Because this guest is that beloved that the sorrows he sends again are joy. Everything that comes from the beloved is beloved. Harche mahbub kard, mahbub ast. Anything that the beloved does is beloved. So it might seem hardship, it might seem trials, difficulties, but it's all joy and happiness. Bandash hame azadi, and his chains are freedom. Again, reminds me of Hafiz. Man az an roz ke dar band toam azadam. From the day I was caught in your chains, from that day I am free. So when you're bound, when you're in this relationship, in this connection, that's the true freedom. The true freedom is in this ubudiyah, is in this being bound to Allah. And don't think that you lose anything in this relationship. Give him a single seed. Give him one little act of kindness. He knows your heart. So Any little thing. Give him a seed, and that seed becomes hundreds of gardens. He will give you infinitely more. And I am the servant of that. I'm the servant of that light, the Eastern light. And I'm drowned, I'm immersed, drenched in that bounty, in that grace. Anything else is evil. Anything else is defiled. All I seek is the bounty of that beloved. And then, as Mawlana usually does, it's always a call to silence. The last bait, it's always about silence, almost always. Barband labo tanzan. So seal your lips, be silent. Be like the rosebud and the lily, the grace, the silent grace of these. And be patient. Sabr kun az guftan. Don't express these things. Because patience is the key that opens all doors. Or it could be a reference to as-sabr miftah la-faraj. Patience is the key to relief, the key to everything, the key to the closed doors in life. Patience is the key.
Yeah, I was thinking about the first few verses before there, when you were talking about the Rendan.
Yep.
It also kind of reminded me of like Kalandar, like someone who is like Shams.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you have this. I don't know if you have these Sufis in Iran or Malamati.
Malamatiya, yes.
Yeah, so they are also like very famous in the subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, Pakistan. They are also characterized with this quality, and I think it's always up to people like Mawlana who can see the inner beauty of those people and the value that they carry.
Yes.
All the Jamal and Jalal. And the second thing is I noticed throughout the poem is the theme of contrast that has been used, and it's so beautiful because it kind of reminds me or tells me that a person who has experienced union in this world of duality. Now, how does he see this world of duality? He sees this world of duality as duality because now he is beyond this sphere of duality into a sphere of union, and now it looks like absurd. But from that point of view, when you are up, you're soaring high in the sky of union, maybe, or unicity, you see the irony of the things, probably. And at the same time, it's very sweet child's play. So you see this also there, how it's happening, and it's beautiful in a way.
Absolutely, indeed. Allah.
Yeah, this reminds me of a story from the life of Imam al-Hadi or Imam Baqir alayhi salam. I'm not sure, but the story goes that one of his close companions comes one day, and he faces a lot of struggles and difficulties economically, etc. So he comes to the Imam to essentially complain about his issues, his problems, and struggles. And he comes, and of course, the great Imam knows about his intention. And before he says anything, the Imam tells him, "Oh, Mr. Falan, if you could express gratitude for all of the gifts that Allah has bestowed upon you, would you be able to do it?" And he remains silent because he knows that he can't do it, and he's reminded of all of Allah's bounties. And then the Imam tells him about Allah's bounties and reminds him of all of the good things that is in his life, and he of course helps him out economically afterwards. But that story kind of taught me that when we have struggles and we have difficulties, we tend to concentrate so much on a single issue or difficulty that we tend to lose the bigger picture. We tend to forget all of the bounties that Allah gives us every day that we're benevolent to. In some way, I mean, we're talking about the presence, as Saadi also mentions. We lose the present moment when we are thinking about something that is either out of control or something that we have to be patient with. We lose the present moment, and that is ultimately the key to unhappiness in life, when we lose the present moment. And of course it goes, I mean, goes into all of different themes. If you also think about people who are constantly thinking about what they should do to impress other people, or what they should do to gain respect, etc., that they also lose the true guest in their heart, right, which is Allah. And no matter what they do, they can never impress everybody, and they will always be disappointed. But with the true beloved, as long as you have the right intention and you do your best, he will not be disappointed, and that's ultimately enough.
Yeah, absolutely, indeed. So yeah, gratitude is key. Shukr reminded me of the story about Rabi'ah. So there's someone in the majlis of Rabi'ah who's complaining, oh, I have a headache. I have a headache. Ya Allah, why are you doing this to me? And then Rabi'ah says to him, this year, how many times have you had a headache? And says, this is the first time this year I have this terrible headache. And then she says, like, for the other 364 days where you didn't have a headache, did you say, Ya Allah, thank you? Why is it that it's just one time that you have a headache, you're complaining? And those years that went by and you were healthy, you were not thankful. Yes, Kansaj.
Sorry. Yeah, I want to thank you for that, because I had a small knee surgery this morning. So I'm not complaining about the pain, because my knee never hurts otherwise. So thank you for this. But I wanted to come back the point, I think it's Ahmed who mentioned this idea of contrast throughout the poem, which I find absolutely beautiful. Like every single bait has, like this image of soft as wax with the iron and the stone. And it's a bit like Ramadan, really, the day and the night, and the silence and the reciting, and the eating and the being hung and not eating. The noise of these free-hearted, if you want, turning around in a circle, with the silence that comes afterwards. I think poetically, it's absolutely beautiful, Ghazal.
Indeed, Allah. Yeah, so inshallah, may it be a blessed Eid for everyone. May it be a true Eid, where the moon or the sun, the radiance of Allah, the radiance of the beloved, shines within our hearts and brings that joy, brings that happiness, brings that calmness, brings that power that can transform iron into wax and clouds into moons and poison into sugar, inshallah, for all of us. Ameen.